The human who dismantled the Galactic Empire. Prologue. The last execution. The Galactic Empire was eternal. Or so they believed. For 10,000 years, their fleets had burned across the stars, crushing resistance with relentless efficiency. They had conquered, enslaved, and annihilated without fear until his name was Victor Aldrin, a human, insignificant in the grand design of the empire. A prisoner, a rebel, a forgotten soldier buried in the dungeons of the Imperial Citadel. When they dragged him to the execution square on Zenith Prime, the Impetus golden capital, billions watched. His crimes? Defiance. Inciting rebellion. Assassinating a governor. The audience expected another futile display of human resistance, another body broken beneath the boots of imperial justice. Instead, they witnessed the first crack in the Impetus Foundation. As the executioner raised his plasma glaive, the broadcast cut out. In its place, Victor's face filled every screen across the empire. A smile curled his lips, and in that moment, the Impetus rulers felt something they had never known: fear, because this was not an execution. It was a coup. The Impetus mistake. Victor had not planned on being captured. That was the Impetus' first mistake. 2 years earlier, he was an operative of the Free Human Resistance, a fractured insurgency fighting against impossible odds. It had no grand vision, no delusions of victory. Humanity had long been a species of slaves, scattered across the empire, their homeworld burned to ash centuries ago. But Victor was dangerous not because of his strength, but because of his mind. Didn't they just fight? He understood how the empire functioned. Its logistics, its weaknesses, the corruption festering beneath its grandeur, and so, he orchestrated the Eridani massacre, a strike against the Impetus elite officers during a summit on Eridani 4. The explosion killed 20 Imperial strategos, the minds behind the Impetus war machine. The empire responded in fury. They hunted him across 100 worlds, and when they caught him, they made a spectacle of it. A public execution. A message. Instead, Victor made them the message. The fall begins the moment his execution broadcast was hijacked. Coordinated explosions erupted across Zenith Prime. Not random acts of terrorism, targeted strikes against power grids, communications relays, and defense systems. The Impetus capital fell into chaos within minutes. Victor had not been captured by accident. He had orchestrated it. He wanted to be brought to the heart of the empire, and he was not alone. Across the empire, sleeper cells activated. Assassinations, uprisings, entire fleets defecting. The imperial warlords had believed humanity was a broken species. But they had only been waiting. Zenith Prime burned. Victor disappeared into the chaos. Not a fugitive, but the architect of the Impetus unraveling. The death of a god. At the center of the empire sat the god Emperor Valos IX, a being who had ruled for nearly 1,000 years, sustained by arcane technology and stolen lifespans. It was a living god, unquestioned, unchallenged, until Victor walked into his throne room. The Imperial Guard, the finest warriors in the galaxy, lay dead behind him. The throne chamber was silent, save for the flickering of dying energy shields. Valos IX stared at the human who had undone an empire. You think you have won? His voice trembled with fury. The empire is eternal. Victor raised a pulse pistol and fired once. Valos IX slumped, lifeless. The Impetus god was dead, and across the stars, the chains that bound humanity shattered. Epilogue. The new dawn. The Galactic Empire did not fall in a day. It took 5 years of war, of purging the old systems, of crushing the warlords who tried to seize power in the vacuum. But the myth of its invincibility had died the day Victor Aldrin took the throne. He never declared himself emperor. He did not seek power. He left rulership to those who had fought for it, and then he vanished. Some say he died on a battlefield, leading the final charge. Others claim he walked into the void of space, content that his work was done. But the truth, the man who dismantled the Galactic Empire did not seek a throne. He sought freedom, and he won. The spark of rebellion. The Galactic Empire had ruled for millennia, stretching across 1,000 star systems, crushing resistance with the weight of its war machine. Planets burned, species knelt, and the galaxy bowed before the iron grip of the Imperial Order. Then came Jonas Kale, a man whose name would become a whisper in the halls of power and a roar among the oppressed. Jonas wasn't a warlord, a king, or a great general. It was a strategist, a man who had spent his early years studying Imperial weaknesses. Born on Delos 4, a backwater mining colony, he had watched his homeworld suffer under the Impetus rule. His family was executed when the Imperials accused his father of sedition. That day, Jonas Kale swore an oath, not of revenge, but of ruin. The first strike. Jonas did not fight with armies. He fought with ideas. He infiltrated the Impetus bureaucratic networks, planting false records and altering supply chains. He orchestrated financial crises, making vital resources vanish as if into thin air. The Impetus armies soon found themselves stranded, their warships unable to refuel, their soldiers unpaid. His greatest move? Turning the Impetus' own people against it. He spread information, evidence of corruption, hidden war crimes, the extravagance of the ruling elite while entire worlds starved. Across the galaxy, Imperial citizens began to question. And questioning was the first step to revolution. The fall of the Imperial fleet. By the time the Empire realized Jonas existed, he had already crippled their supply lines. But he wasn't done. Using stolen codes, he hacked into the Imperial Armada's command network, rewriting orders in real time. Fleets received conflicting commands. Some ships were ordered to attack their own bases, others were led into gravity wells, where they were ripped apart by black holes. Entire legions of elite troops were trapped in hyperspace jumps that never ended. Without fuel, without coordination, the Impetus' once invincible navy became a fleet of ghost ships, abandoned and useless. The Emperor's downfall. The Emperor, Zyros the Eternal, ruled from the planet Vexus Prime, an unassailable fortress world. But Jonas had no need for direct assaults. He let the Emperor destroy himself. Jonas leaked fabricated assassination orders to the Imperial warlords, making them believe Zyros planned to eliminate them. Paranoia set in. Loyalists turned on each other. Civil war erupted inside the Impetus core worlds. On the day Zyros realized his empire was gone, Jonas broadcast a message across the galaxy. This was never a war. This was an unraveling. The empire was a disease, and I was the cure. There is no throne left to sit upon. Cedos, betrayed and alone, was dragged from his palace by his own soldiers. The last image of him was broadcast across the galaxy, a broken ruler, torn down by his own people. Chapter 5. The man who vanished with the empire in ruins. The galaxy sought out the man who had undone it. But Jonas Kale did not seek power, nor did he claim credit. He disappeared into the chaos, becoming a legend, a myth whispered in the dark corners of space. Some say he retired to a quiet world, watching the sunrise over an ocean of stars. Others believe he still moves in the shadows, ensuring no empire will ever rise again. One thing remains certain: Jonas Kale had dismantled the greatest power in the galaxy, not with war, but with calculated destruction, and in his wake, a new galaxy was born.